Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Dr. Robinson here again. We're going to continue our review of the grade 7 New York State math exam. This is our show number 1, 2026. We will be taking examples from the 2025 exam. If you need help with your homework, just dial the teacher homework helpline at 212-777-3380. Monday to Thursdays, 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Give them a call. They're very good people and they will help you out. Watch our show Teacher Time on Tuesdays on Optimum Cablevision at 6 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. Our teachers will really get a kick out of that show. You can join us on Channel 15 if you live in Peekskill or Ossining. If you live in Yorktown, Channel 74. And in New Rochelle, Channel 76. So check us out. Watch my other show, Math Time, on Tuesdays at 4:30 p.m. to 5 p.m. on the same exact channels. You can also catch us on YouTube. My channel name is Dan Robinson, PKMS. Subscribe to our channel. If you like what we're doing, give us a thumbs up. And you can even write a comment, because I do write back. Check out our last PKMS Math Prep 2022, Math Prep 22. That was the year I retired. You can X me at drobmath1. Coming soon, my book on Young Dr. Rob, My Life Before Becoming a Teacher. All right, let's get started. Here we have question number 2 from the 2025 7th grade exam. It says, which table shows a proportional relationship between the number of calories and the number of cheese slices? So let me underline a word I saw that was very important to 7th graders, and that word is proportional. And I'll even underline relationship means there's something going on between the numbers in the first column and the second column. So they're giving us something called calories and the number of cheese slices. There's a relationship. Well, when we talk about a proportion, no relationship, that means there's a number called K, constant of proportionality, hope you remember that, or unit rate. And that is equal to the value that is in the second column, which we call Y, over the value that's in the first column. Now, I tell my students, whenever you're given a chart or something, just look for a pattern. Because if there's a proportional relationship, there should be some type of pattern going on. So I look at my first column here, 2 and A, 2, 4, 5, 8. I can't make out a distinct pattern in that. I noticed they repeated it also in there. So I haven't seen a pattern yet that I'm used to counting by. But now when I look at letter C, 1, 2, 3, 4. They're counting by ordinal numbers, one after the other. And D, 1, 2, 3, 4. So there is a pattern going on over there. But let me get back to this formula here for K. There is a constant of proportionality, means that there is some number that occurs between these two columns. And if you don't mind, I'll call the first column X and the second column Y, even though they have words in there with what it means. no problem when we're dealing with the formula. So I'm going to look for this constant number that appears when I put the y value, which is 106, over the x value, which is 1. And when we divide that out, that's just 106. And by the way, if you remember about the constants of proportionality, that's when the denominator equals 1. So that means that's your COP, constants of proportionality, which is called K in the formula. So what that means is all the numbers have to be 106 when I put them as I did the first one. So 212, and I'm going to divide that by 2. That's 106. 318, let's get a different color. 318, and if I divide that by 3, that equals 106. I'm noticing something here. In C, so far the first 3 terms, when I put the y value over the x value and divided, they gave me 106. So let me take one more crack at it, and that's the last one. 424 divided by 4, and if you divide that, guess what? That also equals 106. So that means that constant number, 106, is our constants of proportionality. So I'm going to go with choice C. Now, I notice choice D looks a lot like it, but when I put 412 over 3, that gives me, it goes 1 times 4 into that, and I got remainder of 1, and I got 11. 11 doesn't go into 3 too well, so what is that? I'm sorry, not 9. 3, and that doesn't go right. So I'm not getting 103. And by the way, you should take a look at the first number when x is equal to 1. That'll give you the constants of proportionality like it did up here. So that doesn't equal 103. So that's why D is wrong. And if you take time and take a look at the other ones, but I noticed there was no good pattern in the X column, so you should be aware of that. That's why I didn't go for choice A or B. Okay, so let's press the box, and choice C is our correct answer. All right, let's keep moving. The table below shows the proportional relationship again. All right, okay, must be something they like about proportions in 7th grade. All right, so the table below shows the proportional relationship between the numbers of a concert ticket purchased T and the total cost C of the tickets. So which equation, we're looking for equation, represents the T and C? So we got a lot of choices here, and I see I have a pull tab over there. Let me see what that says. Oh, that's the formula for finding the value of y, how much that second column will equal when you multiply the constants of proportionality times the first column. So, and if I had a little time, I would tell you how they came up with that formula. It was y over x. We mentioned a second ago, all they did was multiply or cross multiply, put a 1 underneath there, 1 times y, and cross multiply k times x. 1 times y is just y, and here is how they developed that formula, kx. So we're looking for the constant of proportionality to help us out. That'll be the cost of 1 ticket. So let me do what we did for the first question, put my little x and y there, and let's take 81 and divided by 3. And I have my calculator to help me out, so let me put it to use. 81 divided by 3. And that gives me 27. So my constant of proportionality is $27. So that's my K. So when I go back to my formula, $27 times X tickets that you'll buy, or T tickets. And Y is equal to $27 times the number of tickets. So if you find your constants of proportionality, or unit rate if you like, you should have no problem deciding which would be the equation, because it's $27 times the number of tickets, which will equal the total cost. So I go with choice A. And let's see, where's my, there we go, choice A. All right, let's keep moving. And question number 10, the diagram below shows a rectangular garden. Okay, we got a rectangle there. The perimeter, that's a good word, of the garden is 47 feet. Let's talk about perimeter for a quick second. Perimeter is the distance around a figure. So in order to find the perimeter, we add up all the sides. So we'd have to add up the X plus the 6.5, and this side would also be X. So there's another X because we don't know it, but this side we know is also 6.5 feet. So I have to add all of that up, but they added it up already for us, and they said the perimeter was equal to 47. So which equation can be used to find the length X in feet of the garden? Well, we wrote pretty much our equation, so we know it equals to 47, so that's not a help. But I know I can simplify a little bit. I have an X here plus another X here. So X plus X is 2X. And I got a 6.5 and a 6.5 here. So 6.5, I can get my calculator, but I know that is equal to 13. So there's my equation, 2X plus 13 equals 47, which is choice letter C. And that's a lot to deal with. So I hope you understand what's going on so far. We're running a little fast, and I'll try to slow down, but I only have so much time. So if you get it, that's great. If you're not sure, go back and watch the from the beginning and see if you can grasp on to what's going on. So it might take you a little practice to catch up, though, but no problem. Let's continue. A car travels 30 miles and uses 1 2/3 gallons of fuel. What is the unit rate? Oh, I haven't heard that word in a while, and we call it, though, in 7th grade, COP, constants of proportionality, which means the denominator equals 1. So how many miles? What's nice is they give you the fraction, miles per divided by gallon. So let me do that. Miles over gallons. So let me get my miles. It was 30. And I'm going to put that over 1 2/3 gallons. So all I need to know is what is 30 divided by 1 2/3. Well, I have a calculator, so let me pull it out. Clear this and type 30 divided by, and let me put my mixed number there, mixed number button, that is 1. And your calculator might be different from mine. Hopefully it uses that ABC button. Mine's is a little different. And this will give you my answer. So 30 divided by 1 2/3, 18. Oh, there it is. I see that answer over there. So let's pull that out. Minimize. So it looks to me like choice C is our answer. And let me shrink this down a little bit so you can see what I typed. And let's press that. Choice C, 18 miles per gallon. All right, let's keep moving. A school sold tickets to a musical for $8.95 per person. The musical had 2 performances described below. All right, so we got 2 things going on here. Friday night, 152 people attended. All right, so let me just write Friday. You had 152 people. But keep in mind, they had to pay $8.95. So that's what they did. I can get my calculator out. Let's clear that out. 152 people times $8.95. Just want to see how much does that equal to. All right, and let me pull it out and minimize. All right, so, and I noticed they didn't put the extra 0 on the end, so I will. So we get, they spent on Friday night $1,360.40. Well, let's keep going and see what happened on Saturday night. Saturday night, 25% more people attended than Friday night. So on Saturday, they had more people. Well, than Friday. Well, Friday had 152 people. So there's 25% more. So let's deal with that. I usually draw a circle so people could see what's going on. This is 100% when I'm talking percentages, since they're talking 25%. And I tell the kids there's a pimple that's added on there. How much more? 25%. So there's more people added on to the 152 people. Well, if you remember our formula about percent increase, the P times 1 plus percent. That was the total cost. That equals the total cost. So if you remember what we did, we took our number of people, which is the number of original people, and that's 152. We multiplied that by 100% plus the increase of 25%. So let's get our calculators. This is an interesting question. It's so long. So I'm going to take 152 times 1 plus 25, and I believe I have a percent button up there. So you might have to change it to a decimal or use your percent button, because I believe your calculator should have that also. So this is a percent increase. So in other words, on Friday, they just had 190 people. So let me pull that out and make it smaller and see where I can shrink this and put that over to the side here. So they had 190 people. But they want to know what's the total amount of money earn from selling the tickets? Well, I know there were 190 people that happened on Friday. So let me put that down, pull that down a little bit because I didn't calculate how much money they got. I know they got 190 people times the cost of $8.95. So let me get my calculator. So 192. Did I say 192 or 190? 190. 190 people. So let me back up. So 192 times the cost of getting in, $8.95. And the amount of money, 1,750 cents. So let's pull that down for a minute and get that in there and shrink it down a little bit. There's a lot of work for one question. All right, let's bring it down a little bit more. So what do we got going on here? So we're looking for the total amount. Well, the Friday night people, and I'll write that over here, they had 1360.40. The Saturday night people, we just saw that, they had 1700.550. So if I want the total, all I got to do is add those two items up. And that'll give me my total. And again, I have a calculator, so let's use it. So let's clear this. So 1360.40 plus 1700.50. A lot of work here, Dr. Rob. And that finally gives us a total of, and let me get another nice color. And let me get back to my calculator. And I should pull that out too. So let me pull that out so you can see that as well. Let me minimize that. All right, and pull this a little smaller and put that down there. And bring it down a little bit. So we got $3,060.90. Somebody seems to always want to call during my video time.
Call from Wallkill, NY.
So that looks like choice D. So I'm going to go with choice D. And let's see. Boy, did we do a lot of work for that question. There we go, choice D. Oh, I hope the test is easier than last year. Okay, let's keep going, Dr. Rob. All right, here's an interesting question. This is 39. It's worth 1 point, 1 credit. The histogram below shows the result from a survey given to each student in the 6th grade class about the number of books they read over the summer. So here's a chart with books read is the title. On the x-axis or the bottom axis says the number of books people read. Like if they read one book, that would be in this category range, the 0 to 3. And we would be able to find the number of students who read 0 to 3 books on the y-axis up here. From 0 goes up to a high number of 14. And this bar is somewhere in between 10 and 8, so I'll give it 9. So 9 people I know read this, 3 to 8. And let's go to the next bar. It ranges from 4 to 7. So like people could have read 5 books or 6 books, or anywhere in between 4 and 7. So I just go up to the top of that bar, move over to the left side. I don't see a number there, but it's between 12 and 14, so I believe the halfway point would be 13. So far I got 9 people from 3 to 0 to 3 books read, 4 to 7 books read, 13 people. And we got this last bar, lines up straight with the 6, so I'm going to say 6. So they want to know how many students were surveyed. Well, all I got to do is add that up, and that'll give me 28 students that got surveyed. Okay? All right, hope you're following along. I apologize if I'm going too fast, but time goes so quickly on this show. A student attends a fair. Admission to the fair was $12, and each ride costs $5.50. The student can spend at most is interesting because you can't spend more than you have. So you can spend up to $46. That's what they're talking about for admission. Or you can spend less than. So my symbol, I know based on at most, is going to be the less than or equal to symbol. So it could be A, could be B, but I'm going to eliminate C and D automatically because they're going the wrong way. Spending more than $46 is what they're saying. You can't because you only have $46 and you have to spend less. So they want to know which inequality can be used to find the number of ride tickets X a student can buy. Well, I know they have to go into the fair, so it costs them $12. So I know I got to pay $12. Each ride, one ride is going to cost $5.50. So $5.50, and I'll leave out the extra zero even though it's up there, but not in the answer key. Oh, done already? No, Dr. Rob, I don't know. So $5.50 X, because one ride is $5.50 and you have another ride, that'll be another $5, or you can multiply it by the number of rides that you have. So $46 is the money you have. Pay your admission fee and ride as many rides as you can when you subtract that. But that they didn't ask to solve it. They asked for us to do it. So I'm going to choose choice B because that looks like what I have, $5.50 per ride times $12 admission. Less than that, we explain why we chose less than, because A would not be right. $12 per ride? No. So B would be our correct choice. And I think that's all we have time for. Dr. Rob. And here's a nice question, too. So I'm going to stop. I had a couple other questions. So don't forget our channel. And I'm going to put this on YouTube for the rest of these questions. So dial a teacher. Homework helpline 212-777-3380. Monday through Thursday, 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Don't forget to watch our show on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. And Math Time comes on Tuesdays as well at 4:30 to 5 p.m. You can catch us on YouTube. My channel name is Dan Robinson, PKMS. Subscribe to our channel. Give us a thumbs up if you like what we're doing. If you need more information, you can write me at robinsonmath@aol.com. Coming soon, my book, Young Dr. Rob. Good luck on your test. I know you will do well because you're watching our study videos. Buena suerte and a la exámenes.